There we are. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Arm Wrestling Tonight. This is Hollywood Matt Connelly with the double biceps. It is in the contract a legal requirement every single time we appear on camera, and we are appearing on camera right this minute. Oh, we go. We got the split of the bicep, and now it's all happening. All right. Lawyers should be happy with that. We did see two biceps. There was one there. There was the other one there. It wasn't a trick. There wasn't just one arm that I just regurgitated back over again. No, it was two different arms, absolutely. And let's have a look and see who wins the first comment of the night. It is none other than Spermy's Ass is Creamy. Well done to you, sir. You are the tonight's champion. You got the first comment of the night. Congratulations to you, sir. You join the likes of Richard Jennings and French McGee since I've started tallying it, because I believe that this is quite a little fun game that we have, and you obviously get the notification and you jump straight in there, and you were the first one to do it tonight. We've got a double biceps there from Spermy's Ass is Creamy, Hermes Gasparini, nickname made up of that. Well done to you, sir. We are representing the world. This is a shirt given to me from one of the guys in the UK that I did a commentary with, and absolutely pleasure to have this sort of shirt as an IFA shirt. And yes, it was a very nice gift given to me. But tonight we are talking about the AWE as we usually do here, and it is a lot of fun to. Oh, I just got a message, maybe from Dave Stockbridge. No, it's not. Okay. We're hoping Dave might be able to join us tonight, but he is always busy man. And we've been privileged the last month and a bit to be able to get him on as often as we have. But yes, when you run your own company, it does take up a lot of time, and trying to get a very specific time can be quite difficult. So we'll run ahead with just us. It's just us here, and welcome, enjoy, stay a while. I heard the shrimp cocktails are great. So there was a particular match that I really wanted to discuss tonight, which was from the AWE 3 Grand Prix tournament, which took place in Adelaide here a couple of weekends ago. And it was an 8-man double elimination tournament. We saw some of the best people in the under 85 kilo division taking on each other in an invitation only double elimination tournament, and we had some amazing matches that took place. And the best part about it is that with these tournaments, it seems to be that there's always upsets and there's always a standout and somebody that rises to the occasion, and it's such an absolute amazing thing to see when somebody that you think, okay, well, this guy, he's probably in there to make up the numbers, or maybe he's, or he's the number one seed. Maybe he'll just cruise through and just destroy everybody. But it doesn't happen that way. It always is something different. So it's a pleasure to see it happen live. It's just fantastic. To see that these matches take place and you're not expecting the result, and then it happens that way, and you get to see it in person. It really just blows your mind, and then it throws the rest of the tournament just completely on its head, because all of a sudden somebody has won a match that you really didn't think they would, and the whole draw is now completely different. The brackets are all changed, the potential opponents, plus the opponents who are the people who are in that tournament, the 8 that are in there, they would have probably had an idea as to what they thought their matchups would be. And then when you get to see a matchup that happens, maybe the match after you, and you're like, oh man, that really changes everything. Now I've got to have a completely different set of opponents. And as Kyle Davison says here, King Kyle, as he likes to be called, he says there were so many big upsets on the day. Absolutely. And we are going to check out one of them right here. All right. And let's have a look at this one in particular. Let me load it up here for you, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a question here from Brett Coots. We'll check that out in a second. The left-hand heavyweight champion, Brett Coots, is in the chat. He says, when is the next AWE event? We do have one lined up. We are still working through the particulars and the details. As soon as it's all locked in and ready to go, we will announce it. but it is not far away, and we've got several things lined up for this year. So we will hopefully get an opportunity to see the man who is commenting right there on screen at the moment of Brett Coots, the left-hand AWE champion, beating Rickard Bornman in the heavyweight matchup that they had here in Adelaide a couple weekends ago. And that match is on the AWE Underground YouTube channel. You can see it all take place right there. It's 1st to 4. It is a left-handed match. Phil Woody is in here. He says, hit the thumbs up button. Always appreciated if you do. Phil Woody very much helps us here at the AWE to be able to put this podcast in front of as many people as possible and get as many new people into the sport of arm wrestling. One of the exciting things that happened yesterday was we had our training session, our usual Sunday night training session. We had 6 new people turn up, 6 people I'd never seen before that came in to train with us, and it was like, oh wow, because maybe it's one person a week that you get new, and you'd hope that they come back, and usually they don't, because it is a very, very tough sport on your arms. But we had 6 last night, which was incredible. We were like, all the tables were full. We've got 8 tables, so 16 people on at once. People were waiting, like lined up to have their turn. It was like, wow, this is it's really, really starting to pick up, which is absolutely amazing. All right, so let's have a look here at this matchup that we've got on screen. It is none other than, actually, let me say hello to Dominic Lawrence. So hello to you, sir. Great to see you in the chat there. Kyle says he's excited to defend. Let's go. Love to see it. Absolutely. And it was 6. It was 6 new people last night. I didn't actually even get the opportunity to go and talk to everybody, but that is all good. We had 6 new people. Hopefully they will return again. Wonderful to see. All right, let's check out this matchup right here. So the man to your left of screen, Josh Barker, is this was the opening round of the tournament. Josh, it normally competes in the under 70 kilo division. This matchup right here is in the 85 kilo division. So he is undersized, underweight for this division. But it is not going to stop him from giving his absolute best effort. He moved up in weight. He came into the tournament, I think the night before, he weighed in at 78 kilos. So he did put on some significant size, and it looked like quality muscle as well. His shoulders were really rounded and popping. And he was very focused on winning this tournament. He was coming in as the number 2 seed, and he was taking on the number 7 seed, which is Nick Vella, the man on the right of screen, who was a last-minute replacement for us. We had Thailand's number 1 arm wrestler, Guy Tanapat, was unfortunately not able to make it into the country with visa issues. So we were scrambling last minute to find a worthy contender. You've got to meet certain requirements. You've got to be under 85 kilos. You've got to be available. You've got to be of a standard where you can compete with these guys. And Brett Coots actually put forward Nick Vella and said, his inside game is just absolutely amazing. He is incredibly strong. If he gets anybody inside, he is going to wreck a few people's day on the tournament. And so this was the opening round here. Number 2 seed Josh Barker on the left, number 7 seed Nick Vella on the right. Let's have a look how it plays out. Vella stepping in at last minute as a replacement for Guy Tanapat, who wasn't able to get into the... I always say this stuff, and then I play on the... and I say the same thing, but my own commentary. Country, unfortunately, but Nick Vella, known as a very strong inside puller, he is going to be taking... I already said that, Matt. Taking on Josh Barker, who is known for a lightning fast, incredibly strong press. So we're going to see if Nick is able to
take these wrists out,
frame himself in a way that Josh is not comfortable going for that press. Now, the important thing is here that everybody knows Josh Barker is going to press, and especially in a tournament format where it is in your best interest to finish matches as quickly as possible, because if you've got multiple matches in a row, by the time you make it deep into the tournament and maybe to the grand final, if you're still relatively fresh, you're going to have a big advantage over somebody that has had several wars and has, exhausted themselves up to that point. So Josh's style with that press, just off the go, just smash and getting a pin within half a second, that is ideal for tournament formats. And everyone going into this tournament format knew that Josh would be implementing his press game, but it's one of those things where you know what your opponent's going to do, and it's like, okay, now you got to try and stop it. And let's have a look how this plays out. So Nick on the right is a hook puller, and Josh is a presser. Let's have a look at how this plays.
Be there. Yep. Don't move.
I think his game plan going in, but he does it anyway.
And he's holding on with the bicep. Look at that, he's brought it back inside. This is an extraordinary exchange here. Nick Fella putting all the pressure on. He just needs to be patient here. He seems to have everything he needs against Josh Barker.
Wow, what an absolutely insane moment. Unfortunately, Nick's elbow coming off right at the end, just as he got the pin. So it does mean a restart there. Tim Graham, the referee there, indicating that it was an elbow foul. And when I go back and we watch that back, you will see that his elbow just comes off just as he pins him. But what an incredible stop from Nick Vella. Let's have a look back at this again, because that was absolutely insane. The strength needed to stop Josh Barker's press is just next to, I didn't see many people do it, that's for sure. He's not comfortable going. Let's have a look here.
All the press with the bike.
Frame himself in a way that Josh is not comfortable going for that press.
Happy there? Yep. Don't move.
I think his game plan going. So you see Josh he's straight in on it, and he's put all of his body weight behind it. And look at that tricep of Josh Barker there, just adding that press movement, like a tricep push down. He's got all of his weight on top of it, his shoulders on top of his hand. Everything is pitch perfect for Josh Barker right here. Also for Nick Vella, he is palm up. He is in this position with his arm. Not a good position to be in, because all that's holding is this bicep muscle right here, and you can see it right there on the screen. Look at Nick Vella's bicep. It is massively engaged. He is holding all of Josh Barker's body weight with his arm right there. And Josh is pushing down hard. Nick slows the press down, and he is within an arm hair of being pinned here. Let's have a look. But he does it anyway. And he just manages to get enough where Josh sort of releases a little bit, and that drag back that Nick employed. Fortunately for him, it did separate his shoulder from his hand further of a distance there. But just that little movement, it pulled Josh's hand. You can see his hand is now not in line with his shoulder. And just that little angle difference there is enough for Nick to...
And he's holding on with the bike.
You see there, he brings his shoulder back up to his hand. Very clever move. Josh is still very tight. He's in a really good position, but he is now palm up instead. And Nick has secured the hook right there. This is a defensive position now for Josh, and he is sitting there. I think in his mind at this point in time, he's probably just waiting for Nick to surge, and he's going to try to contain it. That's why he's so coiled up. He is so tight. He's like, if he's going to pull me out of this, then he's got to be super strong to be able to do it. And well, Nick Vella was up to the task right here. You see Nick jostling back up for position. He comes back up with his shoulder. He knows he needs to be closer with his shoulder.
Brought it back inside.
He surges again there.
This is an extraordinary
surge again. Josh still holding that. He's probably waiting for an opportunity, because he is so palm up. He really needs to be able to either get pronation in his wrist, or he needs to engage that shoulder again to get side pressure. But right here, he's sort of in a defensive mode, and he has contained, I think, 3 surges from Nick at this point.
Exchange here.
Nick, you see that the difference there is that he puts everything into this one, and then he gets Josh just a little bit out from his hand, from his shoulder. You see, he's not quite as coiled and as tight. He's still pretty tight, but it's not as tight as it was. And it's just that 1 inch of movement that allows Nick to keep that pressure on. And he's using all of his body weight there and all of his drag to drag against Josh Barker's defense of his bicep here.
Nick Fella
You can see Josh's elbow dropping off the pad, popping straight back on again. That is absolutely fine in AWE rules. If you come straight off and back on, we're not going to call that a foul. Just keep going. No advantage was gained. So Nick, he's surged very hard. Josh is still in a defensive mode. Nick here is taking a breath. He's going to probably come back up and go for another surge.
Putting all the pressure on. He just needs to be.
There he is. He's very calm. He's relaxed. He knows Josh isn't throwing anything back his way. So he's just sitting in that spot. He's like, all right, I've had a couple of surges here. I'm not going to gas myself out trying to get the win. I'm just going to come back up. I'm going to get my breath for a couple of seconds. And I'm going to see what Josh is doing here because I can't seem to get through his bicep. But he's not really throwing anything offensively. Josh now trying to change the angle of his elbow. But unfortunately, you see how horizontal his arm has gone now? So Nick is really around Josh's hand here. And you can see he's calm, he's relaxed, he's waiting for his moment. Josh is trying to create something because he's in a defensive position.
Be patient here. He seems.
It looked like right then, and I wonder if I could, hopefully you guys saw it, it looked like Josh tried to pronate through the wrist of Nick and was not able to move Nick's wrist at all. And the counter attack came a lot faster than I think Josh was expecting. So Nick has blocked Josh's attempt at pronation. And then as soon as that was blocked, he has thrown his own offense back into that hook position again. And look how far away Josh's hand is from his shoulder now. The biceps is still engaged, but the head is down. He's just holding on here. And I think that the end is unfortunately coming for Josh Barker at this point.
He used to have everything he needs against Josh Barker.
He does, and you can see Josh indicating there was an elbow foul, and it was. Let's see if we can see it from this angle. There's probably a slow running foul. Was it elbow foul? What do we got?
Elbow foul.
Okay. It was an elbow foul for Nick Vella, so it's a restart. But what an absolutely tremendous performance. Catching. Did you see that, ladies and gentlemen? Did you see it? Just Nick's elbow popping off the end of the pad. Let's see if we can get that in slow-mo. Okay. It was an elbow foul for Nick Vella, so it's a restart. But what an absolutely tremendous... There. Did you see that? There. Right there. Just before the pin happened, Nick's elbow dropping off the back of the pad. And Tim Graham, the referee, you can see his eyes right on that, and he made performance catching Josh's press an inch. So it is a restart. So we get another go at it, and let's have a look what happened. Away from being pinned, bringing it back to the middle, and then was able to roll through for the pin. Unfortunately, he did elbow. While we're looking at that, I'll just quickly catch up on the comments here for everybody, because I do appreciate having everyone jumping in and saying hello. Let's have a look here. Kyle says, dude, I think someone is stealing your scripts. It's me. It's my own self. I'm ripping myself off. Barker looks so much bigger. He was 8 kilos bigger than what he normally would be walking around at, which is what, 20 pounds or something. 20 pounds bigger. It was a great match. It was absolutely indeed. And Dom, were you there? I don't believe Dom was here in person for this one, but he has definitely attended our events in the past. Lucky Wood is here from the Lucky Ones podcast, a fantastic podcast that you should check out on Saturday nights in the United States, Sunday mornings here in Australia. She does promote female arm wrestling and does it with usually they'll have a guest on, a female guest, and they'll talk all things arm wrestling, and they do a great job. Great to see you in here, Lucky. What's here? Like he says, this one triggered me with the elbow foul that is allowed. I never get away with those elbow fouls. Yeah, well, the AWE rules, it's called arm wrestling entertainment for a reason. Like you could see there was no advantage gained for Josh there. He slipped straight off and came straight back on, and the match continued. There was no point where that would have been an assistance. In fact, it was probably a detriment for him because he would have lost his balance for half a second. But rather than stopping this incredible match that was going on and then restarting it all, just let it run. There was nothing, no harm done. And yes, that's one of those rules that I wrote in deliberately, because I absolutely hate it when a match is a screamer. It's a barn burner. It's a war. The guys are going back and forth, and you're like, this is amazing. This is the most incredible match I've ever seen. And then one of the referees goes, oh, hang on a sec, let's just stop this whole thing here. And because somebody lifted their elbow this much for half a millisecond, it's like, what are you doing? Why would you stop that? Why would you stop that? All right. Anyway, so we don't do that. And let's have a look at the restart here. Let me bring it up for everybody because you can't see it. Now you can. Elbow foul on the way.
And this is the biggest, strongest version we've seen of Josh Barker.
That was Brett Coots just asking the question in the background there about the elbow foul, and it was actually an elbow foul. So you may have been surprised there that he wasn't able to get the finish. He was so close. He was 1 inch away from getting the pin, but Nick's bicep so strong was able to. Right, so this was the very interesting part of this tournament for me. Well, there was many, but Josh Barker, known for his press, not known as a top roller, he busts out the top roll several times in this tournament, which really surprised me. And you're going to see him do that again right here. So he's gone with the press, and he was within I can't even explain how close he was to winning that round with the press. And he made Nick work so hard to get out of that spot. He's changed his technique here. He's going with the top roll instead, which maybe it was I'm just going to surprise Nick, and he is not going to expect it. I didn't expect it. And that's the thing is if you are expecting a press and you're expecting to be pushed in like this, and all of a sudden when they start and your fingers are the thing that gets all the pressure, unless you recognize that your opponent has set up for a top roll, that can be enough to, before you realize that you're being pinned, you've been pinned, and you're like, oh, damn it, he didn't press. He went for the top roll. So maybe it was a bit of a gamesmanship here from Josh Barker. But let's have a roll that off, Nick, and then bring him back to the center and then roll through in a hook position.
You both happy there?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more obvious with Josh. He does disguise it fairly well, as in where his shoulder is positioned. He normally will stand closer than this if he's going to press, but he does stand a little bit further back with the top roll technique, and that is where he is right now. You can see Nick is grimacing. He's ready to catch a hard press from Josh, but maybe he's cottoned on to the fact that Josh is going to top roll instead.
Don't move. Go!
Oh, and he almost gets through with it there. He instantly turns Nick Vella palm up. Nick, his bicep, you can see the size of it right there. Such an incredibly strong man. He is palm up, but he catches it. His hand is far enough around Josh's that he's able to pull him back into position. Rather, he did get extended, but he dragged him back. And by dragging him back, he actually extended Josh's arm. You can see the distance here between Josh's shoulder and his hand. Although he's leaning back, he's putting all of his body weight into it, but you're going to be more effective with your shoulder closer, whereas what Nick has done is he has pulled Josh just a little bit further out. He's not in a terrible spot here, Josh. He does have a cup position. He does have Nick turned palm up, and you can see Nick is now using his muscle to contain this hit as opposed to the bones in his forearm. But he does have a slight little bit of pronation, which is definitely benefit for Nick. And let's see how the rest of this round plays out. Change to the top roll. He's lowered his arm, but it's not worked out for him.
We have ourselves a winner.
Wow, Nick Vella, what an upset. Well, the 7th seed taking out the 2nd seed.
Nick Vella, he is the X factor, and well, Brett Coots called it early on. He said if Nick Vella gets into this competition, everybody needs to be worried.
You both happy there?
Absolutely. What an incredible win for Nick Vella there. And I think it was just the distance of the shoulder and the hand for Josh by the end. Once he contained that hit from Josh Barker, he didn't wait. He just went straight sideways with his own counter attack. And because he was so far around Josh's hand, it gave him access to be able to pull very, very effectively against what Josh was doing.
Yeah.
Don't move. Go!
Oh, he's changed. So right there, you see he gets the stop and immediately counterattacks. The top roll. And now Josh, look how far he's almost laying. His arm could not be more horizontal than that. He's almost what you would say in a king's move if he was sort of more angled this way. But he is so horizontal here. The only thing that he's got going for him is the cup in his wrist. Everything else is working out terribly for Josh in this spot. Nick is right round his hand. His shoulder is nice and close to his hand. Josh couldn't be further away from his hand there. And really his only option of offense is to pronate his wrist through Nick's hand, and Nick is so far around Josh's wrist at that point to be able to pronate through that. You'd have to be superhuman, especially having your arm fully extended like that. And lowered his arm. There it is. There's the pin for Nick Vella, getting the upset win in the opening round against Josh Barker. What an absolutely amazing effort. But it's not worked out for him. We have
ourselves a winner.
Wow, Nick Vella, what an upset. Well, the 7th seed taking out the 2nd seed.
Nick Vella,
You can really see how far horizontal Josh Barker is right here. Yeah, I think at this point he is all in on, I'm hoping that if I can pronate and get out of this, that I've got a chance. But that is not a good spot to be in. And yes, Nick Vella able to drag.
Is the X factor. And pressure. Well, Brett Coots called it out.
Get Josh to the pad and get the upset victory. Let's catch up on the comments here. Dominic was not able to attend in person. That's okay. We always appreciate anybody supporting us in any which way, and Dominic does do that significantly. Lucky Ones on Lucky Wood says, I appreciate the rules for sure, but out of curiosity, why would it not be a coincidental when Nick fouled during the pin? Just not criticizing, just genuinely curious. Yeah, so that is a good question. And when the pin took place, I think that that Nick's arm was off and on the table significantly, and he wasn't in a position where he could have just put it back on and it wouldn't have affected the match. That foul potentially did get him that last inch to get that pin, which is why it's an advantage, which is why it has to be called as a foul. Whereas when Josh was, it was a very neutral position. Both guys were in the middle. Nick has surged slightly, and Josh has just fallen off the edge and can pop straight back on again. So there was no advantage gained for Josh in that position. When Nick was trying to pin, and you could see Josh was resisting all the way down to the pin pad. And it was slow going, and it was just right at the very last inch is where Nick's elbow popped onto the table, and then he got the pin. Whether or not the elbow was significant in getting that pin is questionable, but the potential is there that gave him an advantage, which is why it needs to be called as a foul. It would have been called as a running foul if he had put his elbow back on and hadn't got the pin and the match continued. But because it was a pin and the match ended, but it ended with a foul, it needed to be restarted. So he says hello to Dom and Spermie's Ass is Creamy. It was very impressive, absolutely. And we've got one of the legends of the sport in Terence Opperman, all the way from South Africa, has been the dominant force out of that side of the world for many, many years. An absolutely wonderful guy, and it's a pleasure to have you in the comments here, Terence. Great to see you. Yes, Dominic says hello to Terence with the bicep emoji there, and Lucky says Nick got the height too. Such a good match and a great pull by Nick. Absolutely, completely agree. Tremendous match, and especially it being the opening round. So I think watching Josh's body language and talking to him leading up to the event, I feel that he had put in a lot of work to win this tournament, and he was coming here to win this tournament. And he was very much of the mindset of who are the opponents. He had very much game planned his potential opponents, what techniques he needed to use, and how he was going to win this tournament. So when he lost that opening round to Nick Vella, I think it really surprised him. And you can see the next time he steps up onto the table, he is all business. He is all serious. There's no smiling. There's no laughs. It's just he's very focused, and he wants to make sure that he doesn't get eliminated from that point on. He did very well throughout the rest of the tournament, busting out his top roll, which really did surprise me. I haven't seen him do that before. So he won several matches using that technique. And I think the threat that he has of just that lightning fast press is such a concern for the opponent that they are, maybe they're committing 90% of their mental energy into watching his body as to, I need to have everything engaged defensively because I'm not going to beat him with speed. I'm not going to be more explosive than him. And he just does this to everybody. So you're going to be in a defensive mindset going into that match with Josh Barker. And it's just going to be all about, I've got to stop that press. I've got to stop that press. And then all of a sudden he top rolls and you're like, like it's just the complete opposite of the direction you were expecting. You're expecting to go this way with a cup, and maybe you're getting turned up, palm up like this, and you're having to hold with your bicep. And that's what we saw Nick Vella do in that first round. But if you're expecting that again, and then all of a sudden the pressure is not going that way, it's going that way, and your fingers get ripped open, you're going to lose your wrist and you're going to be extended like this. And if you've got a super strong bicep and a very strong wrist, maybe you can get a stop, but your wrist is going to be compromised and you're getting a stop probably like this far away from being pinned. And if your name isn't Taron Broad, you're going to find it very difficult to get back out of that spot. So yes, well done to Josh Barker and to Nick Vella. What an incredible match there. And that was definitely one of the ones that surprised us. It was the second match that we saw. The first one was Taron Broad and Marty Penfold, or Penfold as he likes to be called. We've got the arm historian in here. We've got the hand pink waving, he says, which is obviously the way that this restream platform likes to interpret emojis sometimes. If it doesn't know what it is, it just gives a nice little description. We've got hand pink waving, and then Terrence Offerman has gone with the good vibes emoji, whatever that one is. But I love that. It gives you a nice little, it's like pink hair smile or whatever. Taron Broad, there he is. I have been summoned. There we go. We were talking about you just a second ago and how you were able to get out of that position against Zhu and Josh Barker as well, where you were this close to being pinned. Wrist was compromised. Everything was going against you, but you held on. You managed to get out of it and win the match. And what an incredible job. About a month away of recovery is what we believe you are at this point, is what you were saying last night. So hopefully we won't have too much longer before you're back to 100%. And like you're saying hello to Taron. Hey, Arm. That's great. Oh, the Arm historian. His nickname is now Arm. I can't remember what your real name is. I only know you as the Arm historian, and that's all I want to know you as. All right. Great to see everyone in here. Abel Robinson is also in as well. He says hello to Taron. In Millennium speak, I believe that is. There is several acronyms. What's good, big dog? Is that what that is? WSG? What's good? What's going on? I don't know. I'm out of the loop. I'm out of the loop with the acronyms. Yeah. Now, the question remains, would you like me to continue and look through another match, or should we wrap things up there? I'll leave it up to you guys. We'll give you a couple of minutes to say it in the comments there. How is Dave? Dave's doing really well. He is absolutely flat out at this point in time and hasn't had an opportunity to jump on the show. It's very difficult for him to get free time, and yes, when he does get free time, especially over Easter, I believe he's choosing to spend it with his family instead of jumping on here and listening to me be silly. But he absolutely is very, very excited about how things are going with the AWE, and we've got lots of big things planned for this year. So we're very excited to reveal those. So we'll see if you guys want me to continue. We might look at another match, but if not, then we'll wrap things up there. Just let me know. If we do, maybe I'll have a look at, because I'm just scrolling through the video here as to what would be a very good match to have a look at. What have we got here? What have we got here? What have we got here? Did we see this one already? I'm not sure if I did. Have I been through the SK and Marty Penfold match? Because that was another very big upset. Maybe I'll go through that reasonably. I'll go through that for you, ladies and gentlemen, because I want to, not because you said. It's all about me and what I want. It's my Easter, not yours. Oh, Lucky says she wants to see another one. That's fine. We'll do it. All right, let's do it. So this is the elimination side of the bracket. We've got SK from Queensland. And if I have been through this one before, I apologize, but it is worth going through again. And Marty Penfold on the right. Marty, reasonably new to the sport of arm wrestling, just over a year at this point. And he is taking on SK, who is a veteran of the sport and has the ability to pull in any of the three techniques. He does usually go inside. He does usually hook. And Marty, at this point in time, is still developing his game. His press is starting to come together. I don't know where his top roll is. It's probably a little non-existent at this point, but his hook game is where it all lies for Marty Penfold, and he is a very strong hook puller, which works out well for him here. He comes in as the number 8 seed, ran up against Taryn Broad in the first round, and was convincingly defeated and dropped down into the B-side bracket, and SK has also jumped into the B-side bracket. So loser of this match will be eliminated from the tournament, but let's see how it plays out. Of the techniques, and he is phenomenally skilled.
Marty does have a powerlifting background. He is the shortest competitor in our field today, and he is looking to leverage all of that low down strength to his advantage against the South Korean.
Right, here we go. He's going to go inside, but I believe SK looks very comfortable. So yes, Marty wants this inside, absolutely. The good thing for him is it looks like SK is quite happy to do that and accommodate him. Marty floating his fingers, which is a little strange. He doesn't have a very tight grip on SK's hand. He's only really got the index finger engaged. You can see the gap there. Maybe he wants a bit of a gap to be able to sort of hit into SK's position. But if he was looking at SK's shoulder and the way that he has angled his body and his arm, he should sort of have an idea that SK is going to go inside as well, which is going to be exactly what he wants. It's like he's going to go high with the top roll.
Don't move.
And Marty's going to be going in. So straight away, both guys on the inside. SK very tight with his hand. It's pretty neutral here. They're both in the middle. They've basically established the hook, and Marty would probably be very happy at this point in time. And let's see what plays out. And he gets the inside position. They're in the hook. Inside. So Marty hitting hard. SK able to contain. In the middle, Marty's in a really good position. Again, he surges several times. SK able to contain it, but right here, I think he lets off pressure just for a second. Here, SK working. He's trying to find a better position for his elbow. You can see he's trying to bring his body around, and he's a little out of position for himself. Like he's like the way I'm looking at his body, he is in the framing of his arm and his body is in a fine position. He's okay. To him, he's not quite happy with where he is. He's jostling a little bit to try to defend against these surges of Marty. Hard. He's been pulled out of it. See there, he tries to surge himself. He goes, but his arm stays back. And now you can see his hand is out of alignment with his body. Ideally he would lean his body this way to get his hand back in alignment with his body. But if you do lean that way, you do sort of commit yourself to potentially lowering the pressure that you've got defensively. If you all of a sudden twist like this, that can be enough to lose your hand. So he's smart in this position. He's holding. He's like, maybe I can just hold this position. He is palm up. Marty is really hanging on that arm. His shoulder, Marty dropping with his body weight. He's going to get it. He's got the pin. Wow, what a win for Marty Penfold, the number 8 seed.
Making his way through. There's a couple of upsets in these early rounds of the event, and fantastic to see the local boy in front of his home crowd.
You can see there's a perfect example right there of the hand being pulled further and further away from the shoulder. SK didn't do anything technically incorrect here at all, and he was just out of position once Marty got those surges. SK was in a defensive spot. He did try to surge to get back into the center, but his body went. Marty had such a good grip over his hand that he didn't move. His hand didn't move. His body moved. Then he had to come back to defense. Marty able to stay strong and continue to drag SK's hand down to the pad.
Lead, making his way through. There's a couple of upsets in these early.
See that? That was the surge there that SK tried to throw through. Too far away, not enough leverage from the position he's in there.
Rounds of the event, and fantastic to see.
Well done. Great celebration from Marty Penfold there as well.
The local boy in front of his home crowd, getting everybody excited here in the room today. Josh!
Yes, what an absolutely tremendous win for Marty Penfold there. SK is a phenomenal arm wrestler, and we had a tournament up in Queensland last year. SK won nearly everything. He's in the lower weight classes. I think he won right and left hand in the under 70s, right and left hand in the under 85s, and then he came like third in the heavyweight division or something. So he walked away with like $800. I remember handing over just a fistful of $50 notes to him. Yeah, tremendous effort from SK, and so that shows you the level that he is at. And then Marty Penfold, his very first time stepping onto a big stage, he initially said no. I asked him if he wanted to be in the tournament. He said no. And the reason he said no was he didn't feel that he was at the level that he would be competitive with the other guys. And I had to sort of convince him that this was a great opportunity, regardless. Even if you go up there and go 0-2, you're still getting seen by a lot of people in the arm wrestling world. And even if you don't get a win, you're still on that stage. Your name is still being out there. We are doing as much promo to promote you as possible. So all of those are benefits that you can get from competing in a tournament, especially one of the AWE sort of magnitude there. Let's have a look here. Abel has a question here. He says, yo, Matt. Yo, Abel. Would you have any advice for what to do going into an amateur tournament, sticking with one technique or just winging it depending on opponent? I can't remember if I asked you this on Sunday. You didn't ask me this, but that's okay. I'm quite happy to address it now. Yes, my advice would be to go with your ace. Absolutely. If you are a top roller, then top roll. Don't try anything crazy that you've never done before, because that's where you can get injured, especially if you're going at 100%, which you will be in a tournament setting, and so will your opponent. And the last place you want to be experimenting with different techniques is in a tournament setting or in a super match setting where it's at 100% with a referee start. So if you're all in on your technique, if you're an amateur, this is your first tournament, but you have something, you have a press, you have a hook, you have something, then even if you get beaten 0-2, try to understand what happened. How did I get beaten? What was it that I did or didn't do? Was it just that my opponent was stronger than me, or did I set up badly? Always try to get it videoed. Always try to review the video. See where was my feet planted? Where did I put my elbow on the pad? Was it really far back? Was it right at the edge? Did I have my hands up high? Did I dump my wrist? Did they dump their wrist? So you will go, like, I always encourage people to have as many matches as possible, because regardless as to the result, you're going to step away having learnt something and having the opportunity to review whether you won or lost. It's like, why did I win or why did I lose? What happened in that match? And how did I feel? Did I feel strong in that setup? Did I feel terrible? Why did I feel terrible? Why, and so you can look at all the elements as to what happened during the match. So going into an event, if you have your thing, let's say it's top rolling, and you're like, okay, just try to top roll everybody. That's your thing. And you may have worked on setup, and you may be able to identify where you are strong and where you are weak as the tournament progresses. Like, depending on whether you're winning or losing your matches, you're like, I just feel weak when I set up like really vertical. So maybe I need to come a little bit more at an angle, and those things you won't know until you step on the table and have a go. So my advice is get up and give it a crack, because you never know what's going to happen, and it's all going to be positive. Because even if you just get flash pinned twice and it's like, well, that sucked. It's like, yeah, but the people you went against, that's what they do to everybody. Like, they are explosive, lightning fast flash pinners. And it's not that you did anything wrong. And even if you had a year's extra training behind you, it probably would have still been the same result. But stepping up on the table in front of an audience, especially if it's getting filmed, it can be nerve-wracking. I remember my first competition, I was probably 6 weeks that I've been training. It was at a pub, and there was a lot of people there that were not arm wrestling fans. They were just in the pub. And because I'm a reasonably big guy, I saw a lot of people going, oh, watch this guy. Wait till he gets on the table. And I'm not good. I'm 6 weeks in. I have no idea what I'm doing. And of course, I get beaten. And I saw everyone just going, maybe he's just really weak. I was like, but I felt those nerves. I had to block it out and just focus on the match. But it is an element. The audience being there is definitely an element. The more often that you can step up on a stage in front of people and compete, the more that you're going to be comfortable with it and learn how to either use the audience to your effect or block out that audience and focus completely on what you're doing. So all of those things are things you can't learn unless you go and do it. Well done, Marty. Absolutely. Great job. Marty Penfold, the world's smallest. That's right. We were talking about that on Friday. The world's smallest celebration from Taron Broad interrupted as he was about to cheer. So a very small little hop of celebration for Taron Broad made me laugh very, very hard. Dominic says, Abel, the tricks early on are to learn to go when the ref says go. That is the most important for me. Yeah, there's so many different elements to it. And whether it's trying to time the referee's start, whether it's trying to figure out what your opponent is good at, whether in the moment you're realizing, oh, they're going to press me. I need to change my setup instantly because I need to go straight back pressure because, if I'm trying to, let's go inside or whatever with this guy, he's just going to flatten me. So, and you won't know those things without stepping up and giving it a crack. So I always encourage people, please get on the table and have some fun. One of the best elements of a tournament is the after pull. And most people will say, I can't wait to the after pull, because that is where you can jump on with some of the top people in the country, in the region, in this part of the world, and you can learn from them. And, even just like, so Kid Borman, for example, and Brett Coots, they had an absolute war on their left hand. And then straight after that, when the tournament was taking place, they're in the after pool table. You can go and get on with Brett if you want. Like, he's just there. He'll be nice to you and show you how to be encouraging and, well, this is good and that feels strong and maybe you could do that. And even just feeling how strong somebody can be is always a privilege. It's just like, my God, it's like this person's made out of granite, and how the hell could anybody beat this person? That's what it feels like most of the time when you go against these elite guys. It's just you think, how could anybody be able to beat that hand and wrist? But then you watch events and it's just the levels, and the levels are just insane. You know, somebody that you think would never lose a match, they get beaten, and you think, wow, if that person beat him, they must be unstoppable. And then somebody beats them, and then somebody beats them, and it's just like, my God, how strong are these guys? Like, because to me, this guy was Superman, and then you've gone another 30 levels above that. It's just insane, absolutely insane. Abel says, thanks for the advice, Matt. I might just stick with the hook, and so I can pin comfortably. Definitely looking forward to learning more about setup and everything. That's a strange comment. I could pin comfortably. Is pinning with the top roll uncomfortable? Or a press, it's uncomfortable. You pin, you're like, need a shower. But if you pin with a hook, you're like, that's the way, that's how it should be. Lagia is in. He says, Bowen is back at commentating for East versus West. Absolutely. Congratulations to Ryan Bowen for that. I think it's the next event, the King of the Table event, May the 10th or something, that he's going to be commentating again. And yes, he is a tremendous commentator, and it has been a privilege to share the commentary booth with him on multiple occasions. And yeah, it really does allow you the opportunity to say your piece without talking over you. And then when you sort of wrap up your thought, then he will comfortably take over, say his part, and then give you the opportunity to. So it's a very much a team effort when you're working with Ryan Bowen, which is a privilege, and how a good commentary team really does work well. It's not about one person trying to steal the spotlight and trying to talk. And if you go to say something, they talk over you. Haven't experienced that, by the way, but I've seen it happen, and I've heard it happen on multiple occasions at different events. But when you get a good team and they work back and forth together, and they allow each other the opportunity to have their moment, that is where you get good commentary. May 10th is Lucky Wood's birthday. Well, there you go. You get an East versus West card on your birthday. I put it all together just for you, Lucky. I knew it was coming up. So Lagia says, would you also be interested in commentating for East versus West? Sure, why not? I think that they could always use somebody that sounds exactly like Ryan Bowen in case he gets sick. There we go. And yay, Lucky, happy birthday, says. There we go. Happy early birthday for Lucky. And you and Dave didn't, is it regards to the commentary? Yes, it was great to have Dave in the commentary booth with us at the event, and I think he did a tremendous job. He is a ring announcer for Diamondback Fighting Championship and also Pride Fighting Championship, or Pride Fight Series. Is it Pride Fight Series? This is the Muay Thai kickboxing. I think it's Pride Fight Series. But anyway, he does a tremendous job on the microphone anytime. He does auctions. He's the MC. He's the man you want to give the microphone to at any point in time when then there is a lull in activity. He will entertain that crowd without a doubt. Abel says, I mean just that I'm a lot less connected with my top roll. Thinking of matches against Cohen on the left hand, I pinned him multiple times at after pulls, but not sure how I'd do when we're both fresh. Yeah, that's right. It's one of those things. The practice room can be it's very different to a match. Let's just put it that way. And what happens in the practice room, you might feel, oh, yeah, I could very comfortably beat this guy. Yeah, and now he's challenging me to a match. It's like, all right, fine. I'm just going to walk through this dude. And then in an actual match, you get flattened because they weren't going 100%. Or maybe they were exhausted by the time you got to them. So never know. You never know. Lucky says, you and Dave did a great job on the commentary together. Well, thank you very much, Lucky. It was I absolutely enjoy doing commentary work. It's a lot of fun. And thank you very much. Well, that's all right. We've still got a bit of time for everyone to buy Lucky a birthday present, May the 10th. Very good. All right. We'll wrap things up there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. It has been a privilege, a pleasure, and a privilege to talk to all of you once again. And this is, as you can tell, I don't know if you've picked up on it yet, I do stall for like 15 seconds while I search desperately to find the video, the outro video, and I have found it. So we'll finish with the bicep. Oh, I love it. There we go. Ignore the sweat stain. There is no sweat stain. Working hard here for you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, thank you.